Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about it before you answer. What if one of the most naturally gifted footballers the sport has ever seen actually did almost everything right and still never became the guy? Because when we talk about Neymar, we're not talking about a wasted career. We're not talking about hype with no substance. We're talking about elite production, historic numbers, moments of genius that few players in football history could ever replicate. And yet, when the conversation turns to football's true kings, the Messis, the Ronaldos, the players who defined an era, Neymar is always framed differently. Not as a failure, but as a what if. As the prince who was meant to inherit the throne, but never quite did. And that's what makes Neymar's story so fascinating and so uncomfortable. Because on paper, Neymar's career is outrageous. Across his club career alone, Neymar has played 619 games, scoring 371 goals and providing 228 assists. That's 599 goal contributions in 619 matches, almost one per game, across different leagues, systems, and continents. On the international stage, it's even more striking. For Brazil national football team, Neymar has played 128 games, scored 79 goals, and assisted 59 more. That's 138 goal contributions in 128 appearances. He is, statistically, Brazil's greatest ever goalscorer, 2 goals clear of Pelé. Yes, he played more games than Pelé, 36 more to be exact. But the fact he's even in that conversation tells you everything about the level Neymar reached. Combine club and country, and Neymar's total output stands at 737 goal contributions in 747 games. That is elite by any historical standard. Not very good, not great, elite. And this is where the discomfort starts, because when you compare Neymar to the players he was meant to rival, the gap isn't as vast as people pretend. At age 30, Neymar had played 657 games, scored 401 goals, and registered 226 assists. At the same age, Cristiano Ronaldo had 463 goals and 154 assists in 718 games. Lionel Messi had 565 goals and 231 assists in 701 games. Neymar wasn't miles off. He wasn't exposed. He wasn't some flashy winger riding hype. In fact, he by age 30 had better stats than Ronaldo and was right there with Messi. Statistically and technically, he was among the best players the game has ever produced. So why does it feel like his legacy fell short? Why does Neymar's career feel like a story of almost rather than inevitability? The answer, for many, begins with Paris. When Neymar left FC Barcelona for Paris Saint-Germain, it was supposed to be the defining power move of a generation. This was Neymar stepping out of Messi's shadow. This was Neymar becoming the undisputed number one, the future Ballon d'Or winner, the face of world football. And in isolation, his numbers at PSG were exceptional. He played 173 games. He scored 118 goals. He assisted 79 more, 197 goal contributions in 173 games. He won 4 Ligue 1 titles, 4 French Super Cups, and 3 French Cups. He delivered when he played, but perception matters in football. Context matters. And PSG, fairly or unfairly, became a ceiling rather than a launchpad. The Ballon d'Or dream didn't grow stronger in Paris. It faded. Mbappe then came, which added another layer of competition domestically, and then Messi later joined. Ligue 1 dominance didn't elevate Neymar's status. It diluted it. Every injury, every absence, every Champions League disappointment reinforced the narrative that Neymar had chosen comfort over legacy. And that narrative stuck. Injuries didn't just interrupt Neymar's seasons, they fragmented them. They broke rhythm. They robbed him of continuity. And over time, they robbed him of momentum in the global conversation. That pattern followed him later in his career too. His move to Al Hilal was meant to be a fresh chapter, but instead it became a brutal reminder of how fragile his body had become. Only 7 games, that's all he managed before injuries once again pulled the brakes on his career. Eventually, Neymar returned home to Santos FC, the club where it all began. Again, he's been plagued with injuries, and he did a fantastic job in ensuring their survival from being relegated with him scoring 8 and assisting 1 in 20 games. And symbolically, that feels right. But philosophically, it feels telling. Because Neymar's story isn't about lacking talent. It's not even about lacking numbers. It's about timing, decisions, fragility, and the brutal reality that football doesn't just crown the most gifted, it crowns the most relentless. I still find it somewhat bizarre how we're living in a reality where, with no disrespect, players such as Modric, Rodri, Benzema, and even Dembele have all won a Ballon d'Or ahead of Neymar. Neymar was the artist, the improviser, the player who made football feel joyful. But the kings of the modern era were machines, durable, obsessive, ruthless in their pursuit of dominance. And maybe that's the real tragedy of Neymar's career. Not that he failed, but that he showed us just how thin the line is between greatness and immortality. He was always the prince. He just sadly never became the king.